The whole countryside was glowing.
Boiling and orange, and I thought, well, that's it.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I lost everything.
You can't fight Mother Nature.
As we drive out, apparently there were firefighters coming right back in here.
And they held. And they were tired, but they held it.
The weather's finally starting to cooperate a little bit, so definitely moving in the right direction.
Fire in Reno County is now 85% contained. Tonight, more people are being allowed back in to see what's left of their homes. Both Dee Dee's son and Jacob Albrock continue our coverage tonight of this fire.
In all, 9 homes were lost. Jacob Albrock spoke to the owner of one of those 9 homes. Jacob, what is he saying tonight?
Roger, Melissa, this is the only home in the Crazy Horse neighborhood, which is right on the golf course where much of this fire burned, that was lost, but it's completely lost. As you can tell, if you're looking for some indicator of just how hot and how hard this fire burned, this was a metal roof, and the owner tells me it was a metal roof that is supposed to be flame repellent, but this fire just got too hot too fast. The owner says, though everybody's okay, everything else will take care of itself. Jeff Jackson was out Monday using water equipment from the local golf course to try and save his neighbors' homes.
When that thing flamed up and came around on the north side, that was when the real trouble happened.
As the fire shifted, there wasn't anything else Jeff could do.
As we drive out, apparently there were firefighters coming right back in here, which, God bless those people.
Jeff, his wife, and daughter lost their home, burned in Monday night's fire in the highlands of North Hutchinson.
They can't stop this. I mean, this was really, really bad and change of weather. So anyway, we're just thankful that we didn't lose any lives around here. That's job one. So they did a phenomenal job.
Even in the wake of tragedy, Jeff is thankful.
We're all safe. My friends are safe. I thank the Lord for that.
It's a total loss. The only home on Crazy Horse destroyed. Remarkable considering how close the fire came to so many other homes in the area.
Well, that one's a ping. That one iron's a ping.
What the fire couldn't take are the relationships Jeff's forged with his neighbors in the 16 years he's lived in the home.
We're just trying to laugh a little bit because it keeps you from crying, which I'm not doing a very good job of that. But we'll rebuild somewhere. Maybe here, maybe not. Who knows? That's a question for down the road.
As the sun comes up tomorrow, Jeff and his family still won't have a home to go to, but they'll have each other. And just another part of this story is Jeff was leaving, trying to fight these fires by himself, the volunteers coming in. One of those volunteers was his son-in-law, and his son-in-law is okay, and in fact on Monday night was the one who had to call Jeff and tell him that his home had been lost.
Jacob, thank you. Tonight we also spoke to Sherry Chance. Our Katie Johnston was with her today when she got a call from the Reno County Sheriff's Office with news her home was damaged. She didn't know the extent of the damage until Katie showed her a picture. Her biggest concern was for her 5 horses she had to leave behind. That's when Katie showed her another picture.
Oh my God. Oh, they're there. Oh my God.
All 5 of them are there.
Oh my God. I'm so happy. That's just great. I know. I'm just so happy.
Welcome news tonight. And here's the most up-to-date evacuation zone for that fire in Reno County. Again tonight, we know the fire is now 85% contained. Crews are still keeping a close eye on the fire. The remaining evacuees at the Red Cross shelter at the fairgrounds have been able to return home. The shelter is still on standby until the evacuation is lifted. A burn ban is still in effect on all controlled or open burns until at least March 10th. There have been no deaths in this fire, but 2 firefighters did suffer minor injuries. Now, as the fire starts to wind down, some firefighters are now returning to a normal schedule for the first time. They are thankful for the help around the state. Dee Dee's son spoke with crews about what they have the last few days, what the last few days have been like. Dee Dee?
Walking around this parking lot tonight, I saw fire trucks from all over Kansas, even from Colorado and South Dakota. Hutchinson fire crews are calling this help priceless. One Hutch captain I spoke with tells me what it was like fighting the biggest fire in our state's history. After 2 days of fighting fires that caused this, flames much more massive and destructive erupted north of Hutchinson.
We actually got to 95th and Plum there. It was like nighttime. The dark smoke had come over everywhere, and it was pretty ominous. And I knew that there was a house on top of the hill, and there was about 100-foot flames, so I knew that house was no more.
Captain Wendell Gertson has been fighting fires for 23 years.
Even for the most seasoned veteran, when you see a plume like that, it gets the heart beating, heart pounding, and you know the daunting task that's ahead of you.
Crews had to form a line and light a backfire to stop those flames from spreading.
And it took, I'm guessing probably 75 units along 56th Street. We just tried to keep it from jumping 56th, and we were successful.
As the fire continued burning, resources from all across the state poured in.
All you have to do is look at this parking lot. It's great.
This parking lot filled with trucks from every corner of Kansas and even out of state.
We have to have them. They're priceless. When you live in the sandhills like we have here, it takes a village. I mean, it takes a village to put a fire out like this.
The priority of all these crews, saving the structures. The total count for homes lost to this massive fire is 9.
It's a miracle. And that night we were thinking, how many homes did we lose? And I guess 25, 30, you know, and I told the guys that I was with that, you know, if we lost anything less than 10, it's a miracle.
We're getting close. What? That was one of the biggest fires in our state's history, and that fire captain tells me he probably slept just 6 to 10 hours of the last 3 days, and he says he's grateful to now finally be going home to get a little rest.
And if you think we've had a lot of wind lately, you're exactly right. Consider this for a moment, if you will. We have not had one single day this month of March where a wind gust has been below 30 miles per hour in the afternoon. We had a peak wind gust in Hutchinson on Monday of 51 miles per hour. And look at Wichita, similar statistic here. Not one single day this month with a peak wind gust below 30. We had 52 on Monday, a peak wind gust of 46 miles per hour today. So it's nice to see wind speeds back below 10 miles per hour tonight. And that's where we'll stay through the remainder of the night. Skies will be clear. It'll be cool tomorrow morning, as you would expect. And then we're right back to 60 degrees at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're going to have plenty of sunshine heading through the day on Thursday. 68 degrees by the lunch hour. Most of Kansas, if you didn't get it today, should get another break from the wind coming up for tomorrow. It will be a nice change of pace. Now we need some rain, and I'm tracking another chance coming later on in the week. The rest of your forecast just minutes away.
All right, some good news. Check out this photo a viewer sent us from Clark County. The fire continues to burn there, and tonight this fire set a record Kansas hoped it would not see. Michael Schwenke tells you what that is. Mike?
Roger, that fire in Clark County and Comanche counties has now burned more than 502,000 acres of land, making it the most widespread single fire on record for the state. Here's some perspective on this. The Anderson Creek fire last year burned more than 312,000 acres of land. That was in Barber and Comanche counties. That 502,000 acres is more than 650,000 football fields. Tonight we spoke to residents living in the town of Englewood who lost their home in the fire.
Our daughter and our son called and said, you know, there's a fire not too far off. If it jumps the river, it's going to make Englewood. Throw a few things in the car and get our horses and get out, and it was here. We just didn't have time to save anything else. It was just here.
Well, another problem in Englewood tonight, health officials have issued a boil water advisory because the minimum required amount of chlorine cannot be maintained due to power outages.
All right, thanks, Mike. Many of you are helping out the victims and first responders to the wildfires in Kansas. Here's what the Sharon Springs School District is doing. It's collecting donations that it will take in a bus tomorrow as the basketball team heads to Dodge City to take on Ashland. The donations are for the Ashland community. Today, the United Way of the Plains picked up a truckload of donated items at Wichita's Sam Clubs. The donations are being taken to Hutchinson to help. Items donated include water, eye drops, baby wipes, and snacks. If you'd like to help, head to our Get the Scoop section at kwch.com. Click on the Kansas Grass Fires donation link. It will take you to this page from the United Way of the Plains. It has all the information you need if you're looking to donate money, materials, or your time. If you have any questions, call 211.
A graphic image tonight of a deadly crash in Salina on I-135. You can see this car was heavily damaged in a multi-vehicle wreck that included a semi. It happened just after 5 tonight. 2 others were critically hurt. Well, there's talk about a federal appointment for Kansas Governor Sam Brownback. Kansas Public Radio says a source is reporting the governor will be named an ambassador to UN agencies in Rome. We did reach out to the governor's office. It did not confirm nor deny the report, telling us in a statement Governor Sam Brownback is focused on working with the Kansas legislature to balance the budget and pass a modern school funding system. Is this your answer for the easiest and fastest way to fill your car's tires up? Shane Kanicki puts the Air Dragon to the test. That's later in Does It Work?
The debate has started on the Republicans' new health care plan. Find out why some influential groups aren't too excited about it. That's when Eyewitness News at 10 returns.
Expect more from KWCH 12. This is Eyewitness News at 10 in high definition. Online at kwch.com. Follow KWCH on Facebook and Twitter.
A group of students shows its frustration tonight about the possibility of a new YMCA on campus. Under the plan, the students would automatically become members of the Y and have access to other Ys in the area. However, the membership would raise the cost of a credit hour by almost $8 to help fund the building. The students say the university has not allowed them to have any input in the matter.
So essentially they're asking us to pay for a house that's going to be built in a couple years that we don't really know what's going to be in there and if it's really going to benefit what we want as students.
Under the proposal, the YMCA is also picking up 2/3 of the cost. The Y would bring about 50 student jobs to campus.
A setback today for Republican leaders as a number of influential groups announced their opposition to the Obamacare replacement plan. Republicans began pushing their bill through 2 House committees, trying to outpace the mounting criticism. First, the American Medical Association came out against it. Then the AARP, which warned the bill would dramatically increase health care costs for Americans 50 to 64 in the individual market. That age group would see the largest cuts to their Obamacare tax credits, in some cases by more than $5,000 a year. Standard & Poor's estimates the changes plus cuts to Medicaid would lead 6 to 10 million Americans to lose coverage. Republican leaders argued Americans are already losing coverage.
Families are facing over $10,000 deductibles in many cases because of the unworkable mandates and taxes in this bill.
GOP leaders want the House to vote on the bill within the next 2 weeks. We'll have your weather next.
Now, your accurate Storm Team 12 forecast.
Welcome back on a Wednesday evening. The wind has finally died down tonight, and you know what? As we look ahead to tomorrow, you're actually going to be able to get around town and get around without having to put up with much Kansas wind. It looks like it will be under 15 miles per hour. Now, the wind is going to pick up a little bit on Friday, but it's not going to be anything like we saw earlier in the week when wind gusts were close to 50 and 60 miles per hour. So no blowing dust tomorrow. We don't have any red flag warnings, no fire weather watches. Quite a change from the last couple of days. And if Thursday is your trash day, dumpsters will likely be standing tall tomorrow as we finally catch a break. Temperatures go back into the 70s tomorrow. More spring-like weather on the way, but there is a cold front that's going to be coming in from the north that will set our weather in change coming up later on in the week with some cooler weather coming back to Kansas. Skies should be, for the most part, clear tomorrow morning. It will be kind of cool. Notice as the front comes into Kansas late in the afternoon, a couple of showers trying to develop mainly east of Wichita. We'll watch and see if that actually happens. If we do see a sprinkle or two tomorrow, it's probably going to last for about 5 minutes and it'll be gone. It won't even be enough to settle the dust. Skies will be partly cloudy tomorrow, and yes, no breezy, no windy on the weather map. We're finally going to see some changes in that department for tomorrow. Cooler air coming on in for tomorrow night. We're going to wake up to some sunshine on Friday. The temperatures drop back into the 50s for highs at the end of this week. And notice as we go into the late afternoon hours on Friday, no sign of rain, but I want to take you ahead in time here on Future Track, because if you're looking ahead to the weekend, clouds will start taking over Friday night, and yes, look at this, by 2 o'clock Saturday morning, some scattered rain showers starting to develop in parts of south central and southeast Kansas. Where we really need the rain is in the west, and we're probably not going to see it. Look at this, 5 a.m. Saturday morning, rain showers developing over the southern part of the state. The pink colors that you see in central Kansas, believe it or not, that could be some light snow mixing in with the rain from time to time. And although we don't expect to see any snow accumulation, it is possible because we're going to to have just enough cool air in place. 7:30 Saturday morning, if you're getting an early start, we could have some wet roads and wet sidewalks around south central and eastern Kansas, so this will definitely put an end to the fire danger, at least for now. But unfortunately, in western Kansas, it doesn't look like we'll see much. You'll miss out on the rain, but central and eastern Kansas could see up to about 1/4 of an inch of moisture Friday night into early Saturday. We definitely need it around Kansas. Let's go live to Capitol Federal Skycam 12, and tonight, the skies are clear. The winds have finally died down. In fact, here at the 10 o'clock hour, they're calm. What a change, right? 51 degrees at the top of the hour. 37% is our humidity, and there's that wind report of calm. Maybe you're noticing light winds, too, where you are tonight, and the temperatures are cooling quickly. Most of us have already dropped back into the 40s, and we're headed for a low of 28 in Goodland tonight, 32 in Garden City, 35 in Dodge. We'll drop to 40 in Hutch with 44 in Wichita. In western Kansas for tomorrow, nice to see wind speeds under 15 miles per hour. 69 in Goodland, 69 for Hayes, 72 in Dodge City. We're going to have lighter winds in central and eastern Kansas tomorrow. Sunshine both morning and afternoon. 73 in Great Bend, 72 in Salina, 68 for Mankato, warming to 75 in Winfield. And Wichita, we think the winds will stay less than 15 miles per hour tomorrow. 74 in the city, 73 in El Dorado, 73 for Hutchinson. Our 7-day forecast is going to show that chance for rain Friday night into Saturday, but I think the rain is probably gone by 9 or 10 o'clock Saturday morning. Don't forget the time change over the weekend. It's also a good time to check those smoke detectors, and because of the time change, just a reminder, sunrise will happen later in the morning. Sunset then will be at about 7:34 in the evening. Monday, 53. Some of you are asking about starting your garden already. Hold off, because look at next Tuesday morning. We start out below freezing, so gardeners beware. We still have some cold mornings coming up as we look ahead to next week. Your Hatchet Hyundai Buick GMC Weather Umbrella winner tonight is Jane Gregg from Dodge City. Sign up at kwch.com.
Thank you, Ross. A device that promises to fill your tires quickly for those on the go could come in handy if it works. Shane puts it to the test just ahead.
Are you looking for an easier way to air up your car tires, air mattresses, even basketballs?
Well, tonight's Does It Work product, the Air Dragon, a portable air compressor, promises to air your items up with ease. Shane Kanicki finds out if the Air Dragon can do the job.
It can be a really big pain. You're sitting in your car and then all of a sudden you get this indicator light saying that your tire pressure is low. Well, the makers of the Air Dragon say that that inconvenience just got a whole lot easier to fix.
The Air Dragon will save you time and money. And it's so simple. Set the PSI on the digital display and pull the trigger. It stops automatically.
So a handheld air compressor that can be set to fill inflatable items to the PSI you need. We picked one up online for around $40. But does it work? To find out, I asked for help testing this product from Lance at the Rusty Eck Ford Quick Lane. Lance and the car specialist here do tons of work on vehicles every day, including filling people's tires.
So Lance, this is what you usually use to fill up tires here at the Quick Lane, but you've got this bad boy. Got a digital readout on the back that is supposed to stop when it gets the exact PSI that you have programmed in there.
Most of those digital gauges are pretty accurate, so I would assume that it would stop when told to.
To see if the Air Dragon works, we tried 2 different tests. First, we'll use the Air Dragon to fill a completely flat tire. Next, we'll test the Air Dragon's ability to stop automatically at the desired PSI. Lance plugs the Air Dragon into the truck, sets it at 35 PSI, attaches it, and begins filling. He checks the initial tire pressure.
It's flashing back and forth between 5 and 0.
The instructions say not to use the Air Dragon for an extended period of time, or around 15 minutes of use. And a little over 10 minutes of our use, Lance notices something.
It's smoking. It's literally smoking.
The Air Dragon shows signs of overheating. But how far did it get on filling up the tire?
10 minutes, we're at 29.
So the Air Dragon doesn't quite make it to our desired PSI of 35 before getting too hot. The instructions say if the product does overheat to let it cool before using it again.
No.
We follow the instructions and let the product sit before moving on to the next tire. This time we start with a tire at 27 PSI. After a few minutes of filling, the Air Dragon stops automatically when it hits 35 PSI.
There it goes.
Lance checks the actual PSI with a tire gauge.
And it's actually at 40, so it's overinflated. The actual gauge is 5 PSI off, and when you're dealing with tires, that's quite a bit. It was actually reading lower than what the tire pressure should have been. It took a really long time to fill it up. over 10 minutes, and it actually overheated before it reached the PSI we wanted.
But in your opinion, does it work?
Does it work? Yes. Accurately, no.
Well, Lance, thank you so much for helping us test out the Air Dragon and letting us stop by the Quick Lane. And for Does It Work, I'm Shane Kinnicky.
KWCH 12 Eyewitness Sports.
The Hutchinson men and women are just one win away from winning the regional tournament and locking up a bid to the national dance. The men will most likely get in as an at-large bid, even if they lose tonight to Coffeyville. There's Samaje Haynes-Jones, a future shocker, and Shakir Justin. He has yet to declare, but was visited by Bill Self last week. Here in the first half, they're running mates, and it's Shakir Justin finishing it off. On the other end is Travis Washington. He was a man possessed for the Red Ravens. Pulls up at the free throw line, finished with 21 points. J.J. Rhymes for Hutch. He had 32, a game high, but it's not enough. Coffeyville wins 91-88 in overtime. That's the second time this year they beat them. As for the women, they take care of business and crush Seward County 65-44. How at the high school level, teams are just 3 wins away from a state championship. And let's start with an early game. And it was the game of the day for a Division I 8 seed, Andover Central, going for the upset over Division 1, or I should say 1 seed, Piper. And in the third quarter, it's the Jaguars leading by 13. Easton Leadham pulls up at the key and drops it. And he's tacking on some more. Lots of time to go, though, but it's Braden Belt blowing by his defender, and Andover Central pulls off the upset 77-71. You can see all the highlights on catchitkansas.com right now. Now let's go 6A state tournament. Garden City and Blue Valley Northwest. That's at Coke Arena. The Buffaloes having a rough time scoring against the zone of the Huskies, and it's Jamichael Morgan on the breakaway. He's headed to Oral Roberts next year. Northwest wins 70-54. 5 seed Wichita South taking on 4 seed Free State. First quarter, Titans trailing by 4. Remy Lemaval gets on the run, and he lays it off the boards. Free State knocks out South. All local teams in 6A are now out of the dance. 48-42, Free State wins. Kansas, they'll be without Josh Jackson for the first game of the Big 12 tournament tomorrow. Bill Self suspends him for backing into a car on campus and leaving the scene without leaving contact information. So what does that mean on the court? Well, for starters, though, we're going to play TCU after they beat Oklahoma today. They're also going to miss, the 16 points that Jackson averages, as well as the 7 double-doubles he has in the last 10 games. K-State knows they will be playing Baylor tomorrow night. They have already played 2 great games this year. K-State lost at home when the Bears were the #1 team in the country, but then went on the road to Waco and beat them as the #2 team. Tomorrow night, it's at a quasi-neutral site. That's Kansas City Sprint Center. Ariel Arsuto will be there, heading up our coverage starting tomorrow for Game 1 of that tournament.
Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.